Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we're back again today with more Silver Surfer action. This is stage 60, Silver Surfer doing a stage 50 Ebony Maw. I called Cull Obsidian Ebony Maw the other day in a previous video, but this video is, or this clear at first is not going to necessarily showcase all of the fight or the entire fight, because you'll notice I'm not using strikers, and you'll notice as the fight progresses, I just missed a proc there, but as the fight progresses, Ebony becomes a lot more difficult to deal with than some other world bosses, because he iframes so much. So actually, more than other world bosses, on top of needing, energy damage and or elemental damage, for Ebony specifically, you need to have mind control or charm. You need to slow him down, you need to stop him, freeze him in his tracks, time freeze, whatever, because otherwise it just doesn't work. You can bring in a character, and I do think that Silver Surfer has enough damage to do a much higher stage, but because he only has the iframe on 4, and because Ebony can still iframe before and iframe almost at the beginning of the 4th skill, you can still get interrupted, and if you miss procs and stuff like that, it just doesn't work out. So I don't want to show this entire fight. I do want to show an additional fight here against Corvus. We're going to do Corvus as well. But I just want to show you that at level 60, he has enough damage to already go into the 50s. And this basically confirms, well, the rest of this video will confirm that Silver Surfer can do all 4 of the world bosses besides Proxima Midnight. Proxima still gonna struggle with because he doesn't deal physical damage, but the all defense down combined with his insane damage, like that, the 4th skill does so much damage. He's able to do, we showed off Thanos, we showed off Cull Obsidian. You guys seen other YouTubers as well do Cull Obsidian. This is Ebony, and we're also going to do Corvus. On top of that, for those of you wondering about his PvP potential, I have something very special to show you at the end of the video. So stick around for that. I don't usually leave stuff like this to the end, but it's a really cool, I almost want to call it a showcase. It's really cool. So trust me on this one, and it's definitely worth your time. But you can see here, we are already running out of time compared to the beginning. If you had calculated the time from the beginning of the video, like in terms of getting to the first phase, I got to the first phase in less than a minute, but now it's taken me, another minute and a half to get down to the next phase. So I've done a lot more damage in the first like 3 or 4 bars than in the next 3 or 4 bars, and that really just comes down to Ebony's iframes and how often he does them. I'm going to do just a little bit more of this fight specifically so you can see that I can still hit him very, very hard. And do, upwards of like minimum half a bar's worth of damage per proc. But, with all the iframes and stuff, it really becomes a frustrating fight if you don't bring along strikers that can pin him down. And the iframe ignore on his 3rd skill is nice, but it doesn't do enough damage on its own. I have kind of a speculation that his 3rd skill iframe ignore buff extends to all of his other skills, the way that Winter Soldier's buff, his iframe ignore buff, applies when he activates his 4th skill, but I'm not 100% sure about that, and I can't really see it working too effectively. Like, I can't see it against Ebony, because even though he's in iframe, a lot of the time you can still hit him, although you'll do 1 damage, so it's hard to tell, but it does work out in PvP. But you can see if he doesn't iframe, he gets clapped. This is a stage 50. Yes, I have max raid level, but this is really great damage from a level 60. This is really what you expect, 60. This is really what you expect from your native tier 2s. And if he had some sort of mind control or some sort of paralysis on his 3rd skill that applied to world bosses, he would be unstoppable, because he could knock Ebony Maw, and he could knock Corvus, and he could even knock Thanos out of their iframes to do more damage. So just imagine if he got a uniform and his 3rd skill had it does have paralysis that ignores immunity. Well, okay, that's really weird. I honestly didn't know that before I said that. But yeah, if he can knock, if I can more consistently knock Ebony out of his iframes, maybe I don't even need the mind control strikers, which is absolutely disgusting. Now I want to take him into Corvus Glaive. I'll really give you a really quick rundown. I didn't change much about his build, except I did switch around his 4th gear to recovery rate rather than attack speed, and I did that for PvP. and then I equipped him with his first CTP. I say first because we're also going to test regen, and we might also end up testing energy. I also wanted to test rage, but a lot of people on Twitch chat were saying that rage doesn't work for Silver Surfer. So if you guys know anyone that has rage on Silver Surfer, and you can give me their thoughts and their opinions and kind of what stages they could clear, or whether they thought it was a bad idea, I would really appreciate that. Destruction seems to be a nice hybrid build for PvE and PvP, and I do think he has a lot of value for PvP, as I'll show you at the end. I would not consider him to be weak in PvP by any means. But now we're going to jump into a stage 55 Corvus. Unlike other stages, I have to bring along strikers for Corvus, specifically because, and we're going to swap over Ronin here to get the same leadership, but also 20% ignore dodge. You basically need the dodge. Without the dodge, you're not going to do enough damage because he's going to dodge everything, so you need the ignore dodge. Unfortunately, that's one of the abilities he doesn't have, compared to Dr. Doom, who has 40% ignore dodge on his 4th skill. That's basically one of the only buffs that Silver Surfer doesn't have, I believe, but I got the paralysis wrong, so maybe I'm also wrong about this one. I did get bled there. His 5th skill doesn't seem to have very much damage on it, so if you do proc on his 5th skill, you will lose a little bit of damage compared to his 4th, but man, he puts out so much damage. And then if you give him a CTP of energy, he can do even more. You can proc, you can consistently, he does paralyze. I just paralyzed Corvus. Oh my god, he does paralyze the world boss. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, this is real. This is getting real. But yeah, you can use the acid puddles to trigger his 3rd skill as well. So you have a lot of different opportunities to do that. You know, whether you're getting hit by the boss specifically, or in Ebony or in Corvus's case, because you don't want that bleed to happen. The stun, I believe the paralysis happens pretty early on in the skill's effect as well. You don't really need to wait until the end of the skill to do it. Really the only challenging thing, or the only sort of negative thing I can say about Silver Surfer, his build right now for PvE, is that sometimes it's hard. Like it's happening a lot. I'm proccing on 5. It's hard to cancel the 5th skill late enough. If you cancel the 5th skill right away, if you do like an instant cancel, it doesn't work, because it needs a little bit of time. He needs to basically stretch out his hands, kind of like Luna Snow. If you cancel her tier 3 skill too soon, this is with just the 4th skill. You can see the damage is not as good because I'm not building up the all defense down. But if you cancel the 5th skill too soon, you don't get the effect. But you really want the 5th skill and the 4th skill working in tandem. That's also why the CTP of energy, nice, look at that time freeze. That's also why the CTP of energy appears to be a good fit for Silver Surfer, because he has that really nice 4-5 combo, and of course that synergizes with, that synergizes with the you know, the chain hit damage. We're gonna purposely get hit here. There we go. Try to put him down and then put that down. Yeah, I feel like the damage has gone down a lot because I've been steadily proccing on 5 instead of 4. This is a proc on 4, but yeah, just not very much damage. I can't trigger the 3rd skill without a target. Man, I'm shocked. He does paralysis. I didn't even notice. He does paralysis on his 3rd skill that applies to world bosses. Wow, that is really something. So you can interrupt him. You can interrupt bosses through a lot of content. That is seriously powerful. There's the paralysis. You could technically, not that you would use it very often because she needs physical damage, but for example, like, wow. You can interrupt Corvus right here. He'll still keep attacking you, but you do get a moment of interruption. You can also interrupt Proxima during her spear phase, and that will stop her from throwing the spears and basically cause her to either stop throwing spears or to throw them in sort of a weird circle. But man, Silver Surfer, no way. I think, yeah, he's got everything. Like, what exactly is he missing? That's my question. There we go. Eye from ignore again. Boom, get the heal. What exactly is Silver Surfer missing? I honestly don't know. He doesn't have as much stats, but if Silver Surfer had the stats of someone like Namor, he would literally, I think he would be the best character in the game by a long shot. This is a level 50 character without a uniform, with a CTP of destruction, just dominating a stage 55. And you can even go higher. I've heard people go higher against Corvus specifically with the CTP of energy because they have the additional ignore dodge, but I'm absolutely getting this done. This is wild how much damage he's doing. Wow, I'm very impressed. I'm still stunned that he has the paralysis on his third skill, like ignore iframe, counterattack, paralysis that applies to world bosses, which is like a 1 second mind control, and a heal, and a guard hit, and a self buff, I believe. It's also, yeah, it also has accumulation. Yeah, it's a 1 second stun. Removes active buff from target as well, so that can remove buffs in PvP. It also gives him a damage proc bonus of 100% on top of the accumulation. Wow. And it's damage dealt. Wow. I mean, listen, it sounds like I just realized Silver Surfer exists in the game and I'm reading out his skills for the first time, but sometimes you read a skill's effect, sometimes you're like, yeah, I know what Aura of Radiance does, I'm Cynicalex, I'm smart, and then you're actually playing with it in the game and you realize it's even more powerful and it even has more application in the game than you thought. Like, this is not only a really strong PvP skill, but it's also an insane PvE skill. You can literally knock bosses out of their animations to continue attacking them, and if he ever was good, or if it turns out he is good with the CTP of Rage, you can use that to your advantage to basically skip phases. You could skip phases against Thanos if you time it properly, or if there's puddles on the ground from the toxic meteorites, from the stage hazards. Yeah, you can basically knock him out of that with the paralysis, and then if you can roll that into a mind control or something from the strikers, you get even longer time to do that. That's pretty nuts. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited to get him to level 70 and really push him. I think I'm going to max him out completely. Like, I'm talking Dr. Doom gear 25, and then cycle through some different CTPs until I'm happy. But I really do think that Silver Surfer is going to end up making a larger impact than Dr. Doom, and he's going to be an extremely strong character. Last but not least, I want to throw up this clip right now of just a quick battle that I did right before I started recording this video against the #1 team right now in Vibranium. They're not necessarily going to be the #1 team like when you check whatever, but it's this Doctor and then Chinese letters guys. I don't know who that is. He's got almost 10,000 points, and it's tier 3 Jean Grey with a CTP of Regen, tier 3 Thanos. I didn't check his CTP because he died too quickly, and then a Wasp. So yeah, it's pretty wild. I didn't think it was going to go as smoothly as it did. He's definitely not perfect or, you know, flawless in PvP. This is still a level 60 build, but damn, the fact that he put it down like that is absolutely stunning. And I'm honestly a little scared if he gets a uniform or if he gets a tier 3, he could seriously take over the game. Not many level 60 characters can kill a Jean Grey twice and a Thanos in the same team, in the same fight. On top of the fact that, you know, he's level 60. Yeah, I already said that, but just it's pretty wild. So yeah, with that being said, I think there was one other thing I wanted to explain about Silver Surfer, but I can't remember now off the top of my head. But yeah, level 60s killing tier 3s. Yeah, I just don't know what to say. It's very rare. It's Jean Grey rare, and she had a uniform to boot, so you kind of have to take that into consideration as well. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you want to see next. I'm definitely going to be making a ton more Silver Surfer videos, so get ready for that. But damn, this boy rocks out. He goes berserk. Subscribe if you enjoy the content, you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again later today. Take care.